Welcome back, everyone, to what is undeniably one of the most exhilarating, groundbreaking, and profoundly significant moments in the modern history of Philippine basketball. If you are tuning in right now, you already know that we pride ourselves on delivering not just the headlines, but the deep, underlying currents that shape the future of the sport we all love so fiercely. Today, we are not just talking about a single game. We are not merely discussing a roster update, a trade rumor, or a fleeting highlight. We are talking about legacy. We are talking about destiny. We are talking about a literal bloodline of Philippine basketball royalty taking its first, earth-shattering steps onto the hardwood of Manila, bringing with a promise that could fundamentally alter the trajectory of our national team for decades to come. Ladies and gentlemen, the breaking news today is an absolute bombshell. Justin Brownlee Jr. is not only in the Philippines dominating the National Basketball Training Center tournament, but the Brownlee family has officially confirmed they are actively securing a Philippine passport for the young phenom. This means we are looking at a future where the son of our greatest naturalized hero will be eligible to suit up for Gilas Pilipinas as a full-fledged local player. Let the magnitude of that statement wash over you for a moment. To truly understand the seismic impact of this news, we have to look back and understand the monumental figure that is his father. Justin Dante Brownlee is not a normal basketball player in the context of the Philippines. He is a cultural icon. He is a living legend who transcends the sport itself. When he first arrived on Philippine shores as a replacement import for Barangay Ginebra San Miguel in the PBA, no one could predict the sheer scale of mythology he was about to author. From the immortal buzzer-beating three-pointer in Game 6 of the 2016 Governor's Cup Finals that ended an 8-year championship drought for the league's most popular franchise, to his countless heroic performances wearing the flag of the Philippines on his chest, Justin Brownlee has become synonymous with the Filipino fighting spirit. He is the embodiment of Puso. He was granted Filipino citizenship, a rare and prestigious honor, because he proved time and time again that his heart beats in the exact same rhythm as the millions of fans who scream his name. He didn't just play for a paycheck. He played for the pride of an entire archipelago. But as with all great sporting epics, the question of the future always looms large. Father Time is undefeated, and as spectacular as Justin Brownlee is, fans have quietly wondered who could possibly carry the torch when his playing days eventually come to an end. Today, that question has been answered with the force of thunderous slam dunk. The arrival of 13-year-old Justin Brownlee Jr. on Philippine soil has sent shockwaves through the grassroots basketball community. Competing in the U14 division of the Manila Live tournament under the NBTC banner, playing for the Phil-Am Nation Select Los Angeles Devant squad, this young man is proving that the apple does not fall far from the tree. In fact, it might just bounce higher. The internet has been set ablaze over the past few days with viral clips of Brownlee Jr. executing spectacular dunks, showcasing an explosive athleticism, a silky smooth shooting touch, and a basketball IQ that is terrifyingly advanced for a player his age. He is turning heads, dropping jaws, and leaving scouts absolutely speechless. However, the spectacular highlight reels are only the beginning of this incredible story. The true centerpiece of today's broadcast, the absolute game changer that has every basketball analyst in the country sitting on the edge of their seat, is the passport situation. We all know the heartbreak associated with the stringent FIBA eligibility rules. The international governing body of basketball mandates that for a player with dual nationality to be considered a local player for a national team, they must acquire the passport of that country before their 16th birthday. It is a harsh, unforgiving deadline. It is the exact rule that has forced world-class talents like Jordan Clarkson to be classified strictly as naturalized players, taking up the single, heavily restricted naturalized slot on the roster instead of playing as locals alongside another naturalized giant. It has been the bane of the Samahang basketball in Pilipinas, the SBP, for years. We have lost countless opportunities to field powerhouse lineups simply because the paperwork was not processed before a young athlete blew out the candles on their 16th birthday cake. But Justin Brownlee is intimately familiar with the intricacies of Philippine basketball. He knows the rules. He knows the stakes. And in a move of sheer, brilliant foresight and profound dedication to his adopted homeland, he has initiated the process to secure a Philippine passport for his son right now, at the age of 13. This is not just good news. This is a paradigm-shifting revelation. By beating the FIBA deadline by nearly 3 full years, Justin Brownlee Jr. is on track to bypass the naturalized player restriction entirely. When he eventually receives that passport, he will be recognized by FIBA as a homegrown Filipino talent. He will not have to compete with future imports for that one coveted naturalized roster spot. He will simply be a local. Imagine the sheer terror this will strike into the hearts of our international rivals in the Asian region and beyond. We are looking at a future Gilas Pilipinas lineup where we can field a dominant 7-foot naturalized center and slot a prime Justin Brownlee Jr. right next to him on the wing as a local player. This single administrative move unlocks a level of roster construction that Philippine national coaches have only been able to dream about in the past. It is a strategic masterstroke that guarantees the Brownlee legacy will not just endure, but will actively evolve and elevate the national program for the next 2 decades. The excitement surrounding this development is palpable. It is a story of incredible athletic genetics, yes, but more deeply, it is a story of loyalty. Justin Brownlee owes the Philippines nothing. He has already given us everything a player could possibly give. He has sacrificed his body, played through injuries, and delivered championships and gold medals. He could easily have taken his son back to the United States to navigate the traditional high school, AAU, and college systems solely with an eye toward the NBA, leaving his Philippine chapter as a glorious but closed book. Instead, he is choosing to intertwine his family's future with ours. He is bringing his son here, immersing him in a unique, highly physical, and immensely passionate style of Philippine basketball, and laying the legal groundwork for his son to wear the red, white, and blue. This is unprecedented. We have seen the sons of former PBA imports play before, but rarely with this level of pre-calculated integration into the national team program at such a nascent stage of their development. The buzz is deafening. Everywhere you look, from the bustling streets of Manila, where kids shoot hoops on makeshift rims, to the high-tech boardrooms of the SBP, the conversation is dominated by the initials JBJ. The sheer confidence emanating from this young man is staggering. In a recent interview that instantly went viral, Brownlee Jr. looked straight into the camera and, with a cheeky smile that mirrors his father's undeniable charm, boldly claimed he can already outshoot, outjump, and outdribble his old man. It was a moment of supreme swagger, a passing of the torch delivered with youthful bravado that only made the Filipino fans fall in love with him even faster. His father, the legendary JB, could only laugh, welcoming the buzz, acknowledging his son's NBA dreams, but making it crystal clear that seeing his boy wear a Ginebra jersey or a Gilas uniform would be a dream come true for the entire family. We are witnessing the prologue of a basketball epic. The foundation is being laid for a narrative that will captivate this basketball-crazy nation for years to come. The hook of this story is not just about a talented kid. It is about the securing of our basketball future. It is about a father's love, a nation's adoration, and the perfect alignment of timing, talent, and paperwork. This is the dawn of the Brownlee 2.0 era, and I can tell you right now, the future of Philippine basketball has never looked so impossibly bright. Now that we have established the sheer magnitude of this breaking news, it is time to meticulously break down exactly what we are seeing, what it means structurally for Philippine basketball, and how this phenomenal situation came to be. This is a deep dive. We are going to examine the player, the platform, the legalities, and the long-term projections for Justin Brownlee Jr. and Gilas Pilipinas. First and foremost, let's talk about the talent. Because all the passports in the world mean absolutely nothing if the player cannot perform on the court. What we are witnessing from Justin Brownlee Jr. at the NBTC Manila Live Tournament is nothing short of a revelation. The National Basketball Training Center is the absolute pinnacle of grassroots basketball in the Philippines. It is the ultimate proving ground, bringing together the most elite high school and youth programs in the provinces from Metro Manila and, crucially, from the global Filipino diaspora. It is a crucible of talent where future collegiate stars and PBA draft picks make their names. For a 13-year-old to step onto the stage and not just compete, but actively dominate, requires a special caliber of athlete. Playing for the Phil-Am Nation Select Los Angeles Divan Squad, Brownlee Jr. is showcasing a terrifyingly complete offensive arsenal. Let's talk about the physical tools. At just 13, he already possesses a frame and an explosive leaping ability that defies his age. The video circulating online, what fans are calling a literal dunk party in the Philippines, show a kid who attacks the rim with ferocity and a verticality that you simply do not see in the U14 division. He is not just barely grazing the rim. He is throwing down authoritative, momentum-shifting slams in traffic. But he is not just a raw athlete relying on early growth spurts. Watch his footwork. Watch the fluidity of his shooting mechanics. He has clearly inherited his father's buttery smooth release and uncanny timing. He creates his own shot off the dribble, navigates pick-and-roll situations with a poise that betrays his youth, and possesses a defensive instinct that disrupts passing lanes and protects the paint. What adds an incredible layer of nostalgia and excitement to this is a supporting cast. He is sharing the court with Jace DeVance, the son of another beloved Ginebra legend, Joe DeVance. Seeing the names Brownlee and DeVance executing plays together, throwing outlet passes to one another, and celebrating on a Philippine court feels like a beautiful glitch in the Matrix. It is a direct callback to the championship glory days of the Gin Kings, reincarnated in the next generation. The chemistry between these young players is evident, and it speaks volumes about the tight-knit community that the PBA imports and Phil-AM players have built. They are raising their children together, and they are bringing them back to the country that elevated their careers. But to truly analyze the impact of Brownlee Jr., we must transition from the physical to the administrative. The genius of the Brownlee family's current maneuver lies in their understanding of the FIBA rulebook. Let us take a surgical look at FIBA's Article 3, Section 21. This is the rule that has haunted Philippine basketball. It states plainly that a player who is eligible to play for a national team by having the nationality of that country, but who acquired that nationality after the age of 16, can only participate as a naturalized player. A national team is strictly limited to one naturalized player on their active roster per tournament. For a country like the Philippines, which relies heavily on the massive Filipino diaspora scattered across the globe, from California to Canada, from Italy to Australia, this rule has been a massive bottleneck. We discover these incredible athletes who have Filipino blood, whose parents or grandparents were born in the Philippines, but because they grew up overseas and never thought to process their dual citizenship and acquire a Philippine passport before turning 16, they are legally locked out of playing as locals. The most high-profile casualty of this rule is, of course, NBA star Jordan Clarkson. Despite his undeniable Filipino lineage and his deep, passionate commitment to Gilas Pilipinas, he did not get his passport in time. Therefore, when Gilas plays in the FIBA World Cup, they are forced to make an agonizing choice. Do we field Jordan Clarkson as our offensive engine, or do we field a massive naturalized center like Kwame or Justin Brownlee Sr. to protect the paint? We cannot have both. It is a structural disadvantage that we have battled for a decade. This is why the news of Justin Brownlee Jr. securing his passport now is a monumental victory for the Samahang basketball in Pilipinas. The boy is 13. By navigating the bureaucratic process today, they are effectively hacking the FIBA matrix. When the passport is stamped, Justin Brownlee Jr. will be permanently grandfathered in as a local Filipino player in the eyes of international basketball law. He will never be subject to the one-player quota. Let's project this forward and analyze what this means for the future architecture of Gilas Pilipinas. Fast forward 5 to 7 years. Justin Brownlee Jr. will be in his late teens or early 20s, entering his athletic prime. Assuming his trajectory continues, and given his genetics, his work ethic, and the world-class coaching he has access to, there's every reason to believe he will develop into an elite, international caliber guard or forward. He will slot seamlessly into the national team. Imagine a Gilas Pilipinas starting five in the 2030s. You could potentially have Kai Sato anchor in the middle as a veteran presence. You could utilize your one designated naturalized spot on an absolute powerhouse, perhaps an NBA-level defensive anchor or a dynamic scoring machine. And running the wing, spacing the floor, and attacking the basket as a legally recognized local player, you have Justin Brownlee Jr. The tactical flexibility this affords future Gilas coaches is staggering. It completely removes the handcuffs that have restricted our offensive and defensive schemes on the world stage. We will finally be able to match the sheer size and depth of European and top-tier Asian teams without sacrificing our perimeter firepower. Furthermore, We have to analyze the psychological and cultural impact of this move. Justin Brownlee Sr.'s naturalization was not a simple transaction. It was a culmination of years of mutual respect and adoration between an athlete and a nation. When President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. signed Republic Act 11937 into law, granting Brownlee his citizenship, it was celebrated like a national holiday. Brownlee has embedded himself in the culture. He understands what basketball means to the Filipino psyche. It is not just a game. It is a religion. It is the great equalizer. By intentionally bringing his son into this high-pressure, incredibly passionate environment, Brownlee is giving his son the ultimate basketball education. Playing in the Philippines hardens a player. The brand of basketball here is famously physical, fast-paced, and played under the intense scrutiny of millions of fans who analyze every single possession. Brownlee Jr. is experiencing this right now at the NBTC. He is playing in front of packed arenas, dealing with the expectations of carrying his father's iconic name on the back of his jersey. If he can thrive under the suffocating pressure of Philippine basketball expectations at age 13, he is building an impenetrable mental toughness that will serve him whether he ends up in the UAP, the PBA, international leagues, or the NBA. And let's address the elephant in the room, the NBA dream. Justin Brownlee Sr. was incredibly candid and grounded when speaking to the press. He stated clearly that his son's primary goal, like millions of young athletes around the world, is to make it to the National Basketball Association. That is the ultimate summit. But he followed it up with a deeply poignant statement. If the NBA does not work out, playing in the Philippines, wearing a Ginebra jersey, would be another dream come true. This pragmatic yet deeply affectionate approach is exactly why the Filipino fans trust the Brownlee family. There is no entitlement here. There is just a recognition of the immense opportunities that Philippine basketball provides. If we analyze the pathway, it is incredibly lucid. Brownlee Jr. can return to the United States, play high-level high school basketball against top-tier American prospects, enter a Division I college program to refine his skills under elite tactical systems, all while holding that precious Philippine passport in his back pocket. Every summer, he can fly back to Manila to participate in Gilas youth camps, join the U16, U18, and U20 national teams, building chemistry with his future senior teammates, and assimilating into the Gilas system. He gets the best of both worlds. The unparalleled developmental infrastructure of the United States, combined with the guaranteed international exposure and fanatical support of the Philippine national program. We also have to consider the ripple effect this will have on the Phil-AM and international Filipino basketball community. For years, the SBP has been preaching the importance of early passport acquisition. They have launched campaigns, sent scouts overseas, and pleaded with parents of talented dual citizens to process the paperwork early. The Brownlee family executing this perfectly serves as the ultimate high-profile case study. When other parents of elite youth players see the son of Justin Brownlee going through the process, securing his future eligibility, and receiving a hero's welcome in Manila, it will undoubtedly incentivize them to do the same. This single action by the Brownlees could spark a wave of early passport acquisitions, permanently expanding the talent pool for Gilas Pilipinas, and ensuring that we never lose another generational talent to a bureaucratic technicality. In conclusion of this analysis, we are not just looking at a talented kid making a few highlight plays. We are analyzing a highly strategic, generation-spanning move that fundamentally alters the ceiling of Philippine basketball. We are seeing the flawless execution of FIBA regulations, the beautiful continuation of a legendary sporting legacy, and the birth of a new era for Gilas Pilipinas. Justin Brownlee Jr. is no longer just a cute human interest story. He is officially the most vital piece of the future puzzle for our national basketball program. As we begin to wrap up this incredibly extensive deep dive, I want us all to take a moment to truly appreciate the poetry of the situation. In the chaotic, fast-paced, and often cynical world of professional sports, it is exceedingly rare to witness a storyline that is so deeply rooted in genuine loyalty, family, and cross-cultural love. The story of Justin Brownlee and the Philippines was already a masterpiece. It was a story of an undrafted kid from Tifton, Georgia, who traveled the globe looking for an opportunity, and found not just a job, but home, a nation, and a legacy halfway across the world in Manila. He gave us championships that made grown men cry. He gave us a sense of invincibility on the international stage. He gave us his heart. But what we have learned today is that the story was not ending. It was merely finishing its first volume. By bringing Justin Brownlee Jr. to the NBTC, by letting him experience the roaring crowds of the Mall of Asia Arena, and most importantly, by navigating the complex legal channels to secure him a Philippine passport, the Brownlee family is authoring a magnificent sequel. They are telling the Filipino people, we are not just here for a moment, we are here for the future. Think about the sheer joy this brings to the millions of fans who have debated, stressed, and agonized over the future of Gilas Pilipinas. For years, the narrative has been about what we lack: a lack of height, a lack of early passports, a lack of resources. Today, the narrative flips entirely. Today, we are looking at an absolute abundance of potential. We are looking at a future where a kid with the athleticism of an American prodigy and the heart and legal status of a homegrown Filipino will lead the charge for our flag. The image of a young Brownlee, soaring through the air for a dunk in a Gilas jersey, unburdened by the naturalized player quota, is a vision that will keep Philippine basketball fans smiling for years. It is a testament to the magnetic power of Philippine basketball. There is nowhere else in the world where the sport is woven so deeply into the fabric of daily life. Justin Brownlee understands this. He knows that if his son is to become a great basketball player, there is no better crucible to forge his character than right here, in front of the most passionate, demanding, and ultimately loving fans on the planet. The kid already has a swagger. He already claims he is better than his dad, a hilarious and brilliant display of youthful confidence that we absolutely love to see. But more than the swagger, he has the tools, he has the pedigree, and very soon he will have the paperwork. Now, I turn the floor over to you, the absolute lifeblood of this channel, and the true pulse of Philippine basketball. I want to hear your voices in the comment section below, because I know your minds are racing right now. How incredibly hype are you about the prospect of Justin Brownlee Jr. playing as a local for Gilas Pilipinas in the future? Do you think he has what it takes to surpass the monumental legacy of his father? If you were the head coach of Gilas 10 years from now, how would you utilize a prime, local status Brownlee Jr. alongside the rest of our emerging talents? And let's not forget Barangay Ginebra. How long until we see that Brownlee Jr. jersey hanging in the rafters next to his old man's? I want you to dissect his game, share your favorite highlights from his NBTC run, and let me know how you feel about this brilliant, strategic move to beat the FIBA deadline. This is a monumental day for our sport, and the conversation is just getting started. If you felt the energy, the passion, and the sheer depth of this breakdown, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, so this news reaches every single Gilas fan on the platform, and ring that notification bell, so you never miss a moment of our deep dive coverage. We are tracking the future of Philippine basketball, and clearly, the future is arriving much faster and jumping much higher than any of us ever anticipated. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today, for allowing me to share this phenomenal journey with you, and for your unwavering support of the beautiful game. Keep the passion alive, keep supporting our athletes at every level, and until next time, this has been your Deep Dive